Serretta Construction was founded in 1987 by Richard McPherson, P.E., and specializes in tilt wall construction. Since the founding of the company, Serretta Construction has grown into one of the industry's leading contractors, completing construction projects throughout most of the United States. You as the employee are our greatest asset. The main goal of Serretta Construction is to ensure that every Serretta employee returns home from work happy and healthy every day. The personal safety of every Serretta employee is a primary focus of the company. As you work on the job site, you will find that many workplace hazards may arise during day-to-day activities. It is the right of every employee to be provided with safe and healthy work environments. Our mission is to mitigate and/or eliminate all workplace hazards that pose risk to our employees. It is the responsibility of all employees to report workplace injuries and/or incidents and accidents to their supervisor immediately, regardless of severity. Failure to do so could result in denial of claim and/or disciplinary action up to and leading to termination. The Occupational Safety and Health Administration, OSHA, is a branch of the federal government under the Department of Labor that develops and enforces health and safety standards for workers. These standards afford certain rights to workers, while at the same time requiring you to follow certain safety rules. Copies of the OSHA standards are available at Serretta's main office during normal business hours upon request. It is the responsibility of all Serretta supervisors to make sure that, when seen or notified, all workplace hazards are mitigated or eliminated. Right to report unsafe behaviors and unsafe conditions. All Serretta employees have the right to report any unsafe behaviors or conditions to their supervisor at all times. Reporting is not considered telling on someone, but a chance to improve the overall safety function of the company. Please be sure to speak up if needed. Serretta Construction believes in a safe and drug-free work environment. Along with your pre-employment drug screen, Serretta Construction conducts additional drug screens for reasonable suspicion, random, and accident and incident related. Positive specimens can lead to disciplinary policies leading and up to termination of employment from the company. All Serretta Construction supervisors are properly trained in first aid and CPR. First aid kits can be located inside the job site trailer. All job sites shall be provided clean drinking water and disposable cups daily. All drinking water shall be properly labeled and sealed from contamination. Housekeeping is an important duty to maintain a clean and safe job site on a daily basis. All job sites shall maintain an appropriate degree of housekeeping at all times. Failure to maintain housekeeping could result in serious injury to all employees on the job. A lot of our work deals with carpentry, thus the use of nails and wood are constant. When stripping wooden forms, make sure to remove all protruding nails and dispose of them properly. Neatness of the job site not only eliminates hazards, but also looks good for the appearance of the company and yourselves. Please make sure to get all trash in provided trash cans and on-site dumpsters. Improper housekeeping creates many slip, trip, and fall hazards throughout the job site. Be sure all loose material is kept in neat piles for later disposal. All Serretta Construction employees are required to wear personal protective equipment at all times during their work shift. This equipment includes hard hat, vest, and safety glasses. Work activities that require the use of additional PPE shall be worn during these activities. PPE will be provided by the company and is expected to be worn all day, every day while on the job site. All PPE shall be Serretta provided with the Serretta Construction logo on them. All Serretta employees will be provided an ANSI Class II safety vest with reflective strips. Orange vests will be given to all tradespeople in the field. Yellow vests will be provided to all management within the company, superintendents, PMs, etc. All employees are required to wear hard hats meeting ANSI Z89.1 requirements for head protection. There are many hazards pertaining to falling object hazards in our industry. Thus, head protection is needed at all times during the workday. Safety glasses shall be worn at all times during the work shift. Safety glasses must meet ANSI Z87.1 requirements to be deemed feasible on the job site. Clear glasses are to be worn during the night or when weather conditions make gray shaded lenses unusable. There are times when job activities pose additional hazards that require task-specific PPE. When these instances arise, make sure you have the correct PPE to ensure the activity is done safely. If you have any questions regarding the use of additional PPE, please ask your supervisor for help. Other than PPE, all employees are required to wear the proper attire for work every day. Jeans or work pants, shirts with at least 4-inch sleeves, and work boots are required on the job site every day. No employee is permitted to wear shorts or to work without a shirt on ever. This dress code is here to protect you. Hand and power tools are crucial to accomplish our projects and are used on a day-to-day basis. All tools shall be maintained in good working condition. Remember these few tips for safe use while using hand and power tools. Inspect all tools prior to use. All defective or damaged tools shall be tagged and taken out of service immediately. No tagged out tool shall be put back into use until it is properly repaired and deemed safe by the appropriate staff. Improper use of tools will not be tolerated. All cutting operations shall take place on top of sawhorses, and material will be secured against movement. Any employees found using improper methods relating to hand and power tools will face disciplinary actions. All power tools shall be inspected for electrical damage on a daily basis. Be sure to note any cord and prong damage and to remove the power tool or extension cord from service if defects are present. A construction site can be a very dangerous place. Being aware of your surroundings at all times will improve your personal safety tremendously. We will not be the only trade working on site at all times. Different trades working pose hazards that we may be unfamiliar with. Please be aware of your surroundings and work area. Also, please be respectful of other companies' work areas, as we expect other trades to be respectful of ours. At times, there will be many pieces of equipment on site, ranging from power buggies to crawler cranes. Please be mindful of the power of each piece of equipment as you are walking on site. Heavy machinery is important to get the job done, but also creates many construction hazards. Be aware of machinery on your job at all times. Personal cell phone use on the job is prohibited. We understand that emergencies in our personal lives do arise. Thus, please notify your supervisor if there is a need for cell phone use during your work shift. Pouring concrete is a major part of what we do here at Serretta Construction. There are many hazards associated with the use of and working with concrete. Please be aware and take any and all precautions at all times when involved in concrete operations. Concrete truck hazards. During a concrete pour, there will be numerous concrete trucks traveling to and from the job site in succession. Be aware of the ongoing traffic on your job site at all times. All third-party concrete trucks should be equipped with proper lighting, mirrors, and backup alarms. If you notice any defects, please do not hesitate to notify your supervisor. Concrete can cause many bodily injuries that are easily preventable with the use of the proper task-specific PPE. Please ensure the use of safety glasses while working with concrete at all times. If additional PPE is needed, please notify your supervisor to ensure proper protection. Pumping concrete. Another method Serretta Construction uses to place concrete is by utilizing the use of a concrete pump to reach the far areas that are difficult to move concrete trucks into. Concrete pumps, though a very useful tool, also have various hazards associated with them. Probably one of the most important machines we use here at Serretta Construction is the laser screed. Used for our various sized slab-on-grade pours, this machine has hazards that every employee needs to be mindful of. While working with and around the laser screed during a slab pour, there are many pinch point or caught in between hazards that the laser screed creates. Be sure to never enter the areas that can cause you to be crushed in between parts of the screed. Screed operators have been designated and properly trained by the company on safe and proper operation of the laser screed. If there is any reason to believe that the screed is not being operated in a safe manner, please notify your supervisor. After concrete is placed, we use trowels to put the desired finish on top of our work. Along with hand trowels, Serretta Construction has many riding and walk-behind trowels in our equipment fleet. Please be mindful of the safe operation of both walk-behind and riding trowel while in use. Always ensure firm grip while using a walk-behind trowel. Failure to do so can result in the trowel whipping around and striking you. Always inspect trowels prior to use to note any defects. Any and all trowels with defects shall be tagged and removed from service until properly repaired by the appropriate personnel. Always inspect your riding trowel prior to use. Please note any defective trowels and remove from service until properly repaired by appropriate personnel. Never give fellow employees rides on the rider trowel. Failure to comply with safe operation will result in disciplinary action. Wet concrete can cause many skin and eye injuries. Be sure to take the following precautions when working with wet concrete. Any information regarding concrete can be found on the corresponding SDS sheet, which is located inside your job site trailer. Concrete burns are caused by frequent contact of concrete to the skin. Always protect skin from direct contact with concrete. Long sleeve shirts and gloves are among the best practices when handling concrete. PPE will be provided for all additional job functions that require the use of additional PPE. Please be sure to maintain all PPE in good working condition. After concrete is placed, finished, and has had time to cure, concrete cuts are put into the slab. Cutting concrete is a hazardous process to employees involved, but controllable with the proper protective measure. Anytime there is a means for cutting concrete with the wet method, do so. Wet method is a term to describe using water to directly keep down dust particles that are produced from the cutting of concrete. All equipment that is used to cut concrete here at Serretta is equipped with the means to utilize the wet method. All employees cutting concrete shall wear earplugs to protect from hearing loss due to the loud noise during the operation of the saw, and dust mask to eliminate all possible threats of a respiratory hazard to the employee. Rebar is a very common material on the job site. Proper handling and protection when dealing with rebar will make for a hazard-free work environment. Rebar caps are important to protect employees from impalement hazards. All protruding rebar on the job site shall be properly capped at all times when impalement hazards are present. Rebar caps will be supplied and can be found inside of your job site trailer. There are times on the job when you will need to alter rebar due to measurement or design. When cutting rebar, take all the necessary precautions. Demo saws are useful yet dangerous tools if not used properly. Be sure to use demo saws according to the manufacturer's guidelines and with the correct blade. Do not operate a demo saw to cut rebar unless you have the proper PPE. A face shield is required when operating a demo saw. Face shields will be supplied and stored inside your job site trailer. Compressed gas cylinders shall be properly carted and chained with regulators removed when not in use. Only authorized personnel that are trained are allowed to use compressed gas. Don't use unless authorized and trained by Serretta. Cranes are a necessary piece of machinery in Serretta's line of work, and you will see them on our job site from time to time. Though very useful, these machines can be very dangerous. Please remember and exercise these precautions when cranes are on your projects. Controlled access zone. A controlled access zone shall be put up to make all employees on site aware of the path of travel for the crane. No unauthorized employee is to enter the access zone for any reason. Access zone shall be maintained at all times while crane is on site. Also, every crane shall be marked with a swing radius. This signifies the areas in which a crane can pose a pinch point hazard to employees. Never for any reason enter this zone while the crane is in operation. Always be mindful of your surroundings when working in or near a controlled access zone. All crane operators must have a copy of their Certified Crane Operator (CCO) identification card on them while panels are being erected. This verifies that the crane operator is qualified for the type of crane being used, physically able, and has passed all required field and classroom examinations to properly and safely operate said machinery. All rigging equipment shall be tagged and properly inspected prior to lifting panels. Documentation of certifications shall be submitted before rigging is to lift panels. Panel erection is an important time for us on the project. While it is one of the biggest processes we undergo on the project, it is also the most hazardous. There are many things to keep in mind when panels are being lifted to ensure your own personal safety. Please adhere to the following procedures when panel erection is taking place. Erection crew. The erection crew is a third party which we bring in to set panels. You will see these employees on your project from time to time. Only crew in erection vicinity. When panels are being erected and set, the erection crew are to be the only employees in the immediate working area. All other employees are to adhere to the 100-foot rule while panels are being erected and set. Verified qualified signalman and rigger. All erection crews shall have a qualified signalman and rigger on their crew. These employees are properly trained and designated to carry out specific jobs. The qualified signalman is to be the only employee on site giving instruction to the crane operator. All Serretta construction employees are to adhere to the 100-foot rule while panels erection is taking place. The 100-foot rule is for all employees to stay back 100 feet from the panel being erected. A falling panel is a very serious and highly dangerous situation. Not only is this a deathly crushing hazard to the employee directly under the panel, but also struck-by hazards to all of the other employees in the surrounding work area. A falling panel can cause loose debris to fire out at employees as the panel comes to the ground. Please be aware that all Serretta construction employees must adhere to the 100-foot rule to avoid being a victim of indirect hazards due to a panel falling. You may find stair pans on your job site. Do not use unless filled with concrete or wood. Access on your project is very important to get to and from your work area in a safe manner. Please ensure and maintain the condition of each access point on your job site. You are responsible to notify your supervisor if there are limited means to access your work. Parking. Please park in the designated parking areas on your job. The company will not be responsible for any damages that occur to your personal vehicle as a result of parking in the improper areas. There are many times on the job when you will be required to work at different elevations. Doing so poses the risk of falling. Thus, each employee working in these situations is required to utilize fall protection. Personal Fall Arrest System, PFAS, is a means of setup of equipment to protect employees from fall hazards. Serretta Construction ensures that all employees that must use fall protection will be properly trained on all facets of donning a PFAS. All employees exposed to a fall at 6 feet or greater shall use a PFAS. Any employee that fails to properly use or does not comply with the 6-foot rule shall be subject to disciplinary action. A pre-inspection of your work area shall be done to determine the needs for the use of a PFAS. If you at any time feel the need to use fall protection to protect yourself while you work, please make your supervisor aware of the situation. Guardrails used on the job site shall always comply with the OSHA requirements for height and weight capacities. Please ensure, when constructed, that all guardrails are compliant. There are times when working on a mezzanine is necessary to complete a project. Always make sure your work area is safe to access before any work is performed. All aerial work platforms are equipped with what is known as a 45 angle piece, which is designed as anchorage for employees to tie their personal fall arrest system to while operating the lift. Make sure to always tie off to this piece. No employee is to tie their PFAS off to the basket or any other part of the lift for any reason. If there is a problem with the lift, notify your supervisor immediately. AWP not to be operated unless trained by Serretta. While performing the operation of grinding concrete, there are many hazards, but none as big as the byproduct of silica dust. Silica is a dust generated during the patch and rub process, which can cause many respiratory illnesses. Always take the proper precautions before working around silica. All employees performing work that may produce ample amounts of concrete dust or silica must always use the proper respiratory protection before doing so. Please consult or contact your respective safety director so they can properly fit you with the correct respiratory protection. All employees that are required to wear a respirator for their work activities shall undergo a medical screening and respirator fit test before work can commence. This is for the safety of the employee and to ensure that the respirator provides adequate protection. If given a respirator, please ensure that it is taken care of, properly clean, and store it each day when not in use. Brace removal is a work process that happens on every Serretta construction project. Safe work practices shall be followed at all points of brace removal from the time it is detached from the existing panel to when it is stacked and ready for delivery. Please ensure you always pay attention and listen to your supervisor regarding brace removal. Heavy machinery must always be trained prior to operation. All Serretta construction employees that are to operate equipment for company business must first undergo the proper training and evaluation to determine that they are properly able to operate the said equipment and can do so in a safe manner. The equipment that employees are trained on are RTFL, backhoes, scissors, and boom lifts. All machinery shall not be operated unless trained and authorized by Serretta Construction and keep certification card on person at all times. Your job site will have all sorts of material that you'll be working with. Some of this material is considered combustible if it reaches the right temperature or comes in contact with fire. Please be aware of what material is easily combustible and plan accordingly. Fire extinguishers shall be located within 100 feet of combustible fuel sources. Fire extinguishers on site. One always in trailer and others available in a conspicuous location within 100 feet of work area. All heavy machinery on site is equipped with a working fire extinguisher on board. If there is not a fire extinguisher on any piece of heavy machinery, please notify your supervisor immediately. Emergency response information regarding the nearest urgent care clinic and hospital to your job site will always be located inside your project's trailer. If information is not present or unreadable, please notify your supervisor immediately. All injuries and incidents shall be reported to the appropriate management immediately, regardless of severity. Heat can pose a serious hazard while working if not prepared for it properly. Just like any other hazard we deal with during our workday, heat is yet another one we have to plan for. The following are heat-related issues that can occur if heat is not properly managed: heat stress, heat stroke, heat cramps, sunburn, lack of hydration, all other problems associated with heat. No salt tablets. Remember to keep in mind not only Serretta Construction Company policies, but also the general contractor that is overseeing the site's company policies. All policies shall be adhered to at all times. Failure to adhere to all policies set forth by Serretta and/or the governing general contractor will result in disciplinary action. No outside persons shall be on site at any time. Your work environment is a busy and highly hazardous place. There will be no visitors allowed at any time. If there is any need to review any of Serretta Construction's policies or procedures, please refer back to Employee Handbook, the company safety manual, or contact your supervisor for further assistance. If there are any questions or concerns regarding any of the information that was covered in this instructional video, please do not hesitate to contact your supervisor. The company safety manual can be used as a reference as well. Again, we would like to welcome you to Serretta Construction, leader in tilt wall construction and your employer of choice.